day. Welcome. This is Stevie Mac out here in Chicago. As with me always is Eric D out in Los Angeles. What's up, dude?
Yeah. ¿Qué pasa? Bienvenidos a todos.
Yeah, man. We're ready to go here. We're excited to be doing this show because there's so much going on. Premier League, Champions League, the MLS is underway and rocking right now. We have some great goals already, and we're going to talk about some of those things in a little while. But before we get started on that, I want to just thank our sponsor, Vaporgate, out in Colorado. Yosh, hooking it up. Go to vaporgate.com, vapergate.com, Vaporgate. If you vape, they have all the juice, they have all the utility that you need. Check them out, they're super awesome. Other than that, if you want to support this show, a couple things. Number one, give us a 5-star rating on anywhere that you're listening to this. That really helps us out, okay? Whether or not you think we're 5 stars or not, hook it up. Be the homies. Number two, you can always go to Patreon, help us out, patreon.com/allsoccerallday. Always appreciate it. Patrons, you are amazing. Patrons, I should say, you're amazing. So Eric D, before we get into the Premier League and such, what's going down with you, man?
You're doing it again. What's with this half off the screen?
Did I leave?
You might as well not even be there.
I'm in the center.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you are. To me, you don't look. You look like this is you the whole time.
Nah, man. No, that's not what's up. That's not what's up, man.
Man, it is good. It is, I don't know, some weird weather going on out here in California, but I guess we can't.
Weird for you? What's going on for you out there?
No, it's just, it's been pretty warm lately. There's been some Santa Ana winds, and it's going to rain supposedly by the end of the week. So.
Oh my goodness, crazy.
I know! Run for the hills! Go!
Man, out here in Chicago on Monday it was 70 degrees, 70. And then today it was snowing.
Okay,
so what's up?
You guys have weird weather too.
Yeah, man, super weird. But it's supposed to finally get a little nicer out here, so I'm happy about that. But anyways, okay, so let's dive in, man. Let's dive in. Let's talk about some Premier League. Let's talk about the matches that just happened here. Let's talk about the tables first, and some interesting things going on here on the tables. Number one, Liverpool is at the top of the tables right now with 82 points. They are 2 points ahead of Manchester City. City has 80 points.
Yeah.
However, City does have a game in hand. So they have not played 33 games. Liverpool has played 33 games. So, unless City drops a result right now, whether or not that's a draw or whether or not that's they don't get the win, then Liverpool is still at risk, definitely, of giving up that first place spot.
Have you looked at the schedule? Do you know when they're going to become even on games played? Is it?
Yeah, I do, and it's really it's pretty exciting. I will double check that while we're on here, but I'm almost positive that the game that's going to bring them level is Manchester City versus Manchester United. I'm almost positive. And I think that's like on a Wednesday or something like that. Let me I'm gonna check right now. Okay. But yeah, some definitely exciting stuff there when it comes to that. So let's see. Yeah. So Sunday the 14th, that's coming up. Crystal Palace is hosting City. Okay. Then the following weekend, on the 20th, that's Saturday, we have City hosting Spurs. And, we're going to get into that a little bit too, because in Champions League, City is also playing Spurs. They play Spurs 3 times and in quick succession. And the game on the 20th of April is the Premier League game. And then you have Wednesday the 24th. Manchester United hosting Manchester City. And it's a Wednesday game. And if I'm not mistaken, that is the makeup game because the next game they have is Sunday the 28th. And I'm pretty sure on the 24th, I don't remember if anyone's playing other than that game. So let me double check that. I'm going to double check the 24th here. Yeah. Okay. So there's Arsenal, Wolves, and Manchester United and Man City. But in that time, Liverpool doesn't play until the 26th, which is the beginning of the following match day. So Manchester United, Manchester City, that's going down on the 24th, and that's going to bring them level. So if you're a Liverpool fan, I mean, are you ready to cheer for United? Because this is one of the, I mean, this is like one of the only times because it's gonna essentially like this is the result you want them to have. You want United to get the win, which is crazy, but it's true. If we want, if Liverpool is gonna want to take the league, this is probably the best chance that they have at City dropping a result. The rest of their games, the rest of City's games are really not as difficult, I should say, even though they still have Tottenham, but not the same. So anyway, so definitely exciting, definitely exciting. Let's go over the rest of the top six just to make sure that we're there, and then we can kind of go over a couple things that are happening. So Liverpool up at the top, 82 points. Manchester City, 80 points, and then a huge gap, huge gap. We dropped down to third place, and Chelsea has taken over the third place spot. Tottenham Hotspur were up at that third spot for a little while, but they've just been they're on a bad run of form. They have their first win in many games. I don't remember how many it was. Was it like 8 or something like that? It's been a long time since they've got a win. They've had quite a few draws, but they haven't gotten a win until just recently, the 2-0 victory over Crystal Palace. And that's really been hurting them quite a bit. So Chelsea took over that top spot. However, Tottenham has a game at hand too. But so there's some awkward little makeup games here, and it's all leading to that final decision day, which is going to be huge. But okay, continuing, Arsenal with the dropping of this most recent result to Everton, the 1-0 win for Everton, they've dropped down to fifth place. They're now with 63 points. They've played 32 games. Manchester United also losing to Wolves. And this is the second time as this many days that Manchester United has dropped a result against Wolves. Of course, the other game was not in the Premier League, but I mean, what a great 2 wins from Wolves. And kind of an awkward loss there for Manchester United. Definitely the kind of, I don't know, the run that Solskjaer had going with the Manchester United has definitely come to an end a couple weeks ago, a couple match days ago. But now it's kind of getting real. Champions League, we're going to talk a little bit about that. But they are fighting hard to get into this top 4. Manchester United has 61 points, which puts them 3 points off Tottenham Hotspur at 4th place. They have equal amount of games, so they have 32 games played as well. So United it's going to get grind time right now. Solskjaer just gets a job, he gets signed, big deal for United. But how is the season going to end in the Premier League? And how is United going to do in the Champions League following up with what happened today against Barcelona? Right?
Yeah.
So big stuff. Let's go ahead and let's just look forward to this upcoming weekend's fixtures. And Eric D, we can go a little bit more in detail with these bigger teams about how you think this is going to turn out and how it's going to affect the standings and the tables here in the Premier League. So upcoming weekend, we have Leicester hosting Newcastle on Friday to kick off the weekend. Spurs, they're hosting Huddersfield. Theoretically, this should be a win. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, I mean, Tottenham should wax poetic on them, man. Like, I mean, I'm sure you've seen the highlights. I mean, Tottenham's new stadium, it was worth the wait. The place is great.
Definitely.
Spurs are home. I mean, Huddersfield is Huddersfield, so it's like, yeah. I mean, if Tottenham's, I mean, at this point, Tottenham, all Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal, Man U are fighting for are those two last Champions League spots.
Correct.
Two of them are going to be on the outside looking in, and two will get them. And so Tottenham's got to keep fighting for that, and I think they'll handle Huddersfield easily.
All right, great. I'm in agreement with you. I don't see Tottenham dropping a result here, although the loss of Harry Kane and his injury over the course of this week in Champions League, that's a big blow for Spurs. But we'll talk about that in a little while and how that's going to affect them in Champions League a little bit more. I'm in agreement with you. I think someone can definitely step in and fill the void, at least against Huddersfield. So, I mean, Heung-min Son has been stepping up big time for Spurs right now. He scores the first goal at the new Spurs stadium. I mean, he's been scoring goals left and right, scoring in Champions League, just really stepping up for that team again, like I said before. You have any thoughts on how he's playing right now?
I mean, he's taken the chances he's been given, and he's totally burying them. I mean, it seems like Pochettino is using him as like a super sub kind of deal, kind of spark, but I don't feel like he should be starting. But
yeah. I mean, I would agree with you. However, we are not the Tottenham coach. He knows a little bit more about football than we do, I suppose. But that being said, I mean, with Harry Kane and his injury possibly being out for the rest of the season, the rest of this Champions League and Premier League.
Any word
with that
on
nasty injury? I haven't really seen anything yet as official, but everyone's been talking about how they're assuming he's going to be out for the rest of the season.
Yeah,
it was a pretty gross injury. It was not fun to watch at all. But anyway, okay, so as I was saying, though, I think Heung-min Son is going to be a big part of having to step up and score some goals in place of Harry Kane. I mean, Harry Kane hasn't necessarily been the most prolific this year, but he's such a big target that he always draws attention, which oftentimes open up the opportunity for Heung-min Son or Christian Eriksen or any of these guys, Dele Alli, even though, again, he's been kind of fading in the background too. We haven't heard a lot from him either. But Harry Kane just demands respect in the box, and it just opens up everything around the 18-yard box, and Heung-min Son has been taking advantage of that. And with him out right now, Harry Kane, that is, right, can Son step up? Who else is going to be able to score those goals? I mean, they have Manchester City 2 more times very quickly in succession. They're playing the top of the top in the world right now. So can they hang? We'll see. The next big club that we're talking about, Manchester United, is hosting West Ham. Again, this should be a win that Manchester United should get. However, I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that this is somewhat of a trap game, or do you think this is money in the bank?
I don't know if it's money in the bank. I don't know if it's a trap game either. I mean, Man U's slipping a little bit. Kind of feels like the honeymoon's, wearing off. Gunner's got to get them back to winning ways and quickly, or they're going to slip out of top 4 contention here. Obviously, like I mentioned before, 4 clubs battling for those 2 spots, and I mean, West Ham's not a very good side right now. So
right,
they've, like we've said before, these sides that are up here at the top, they've got to handle these clubs that they should handle.
Yeah, and we've talked about that all season, and this is we're coming down to the point where these top 6 teams, the big teams in the Premier League, the reason they're shaping out like they do is because of dropping these results against teams that they should be beating.
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes every year, right? There's a lot of people, though. We'll talk a little bit about this as we kind of go forward with a couple things, but the locker room action that's going on and how the fans are all. I mean, it's such a weird culture. Take for instance Unai Emery in Arsenal, that he's already surpassed the points that they had last year. They're in contention to get into the Champions League. And how often throughout the season have you seen Arsenal fans like asking for the dude's head? I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of crazy. This is his first year. Like, give him a chance. I mean, that's what I think. However, you know, people demand excellence from their clubs, especially if they're the top six.
Yeah.
And it puts so much pressure on the club, so much pressure on the coach. It's pretty crazy. But uh, Mauricio Sarri in Chelsea, it just seems like there's something. I mean, what's going on in the locker room there? It just seems like Chelsea's has a talent and they're staying up top. However, if it was more of a cohesive unit, if they were working together a little bit more, if the players bought into Mauricio Sarri's program a little bit more, so it seems, maybe they'd be doing a little bit better. I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah. No, I have to agree with that. I think Chelsea's going to go under some changes this summer. I mean, I don't know if they'll keep their manager. I kind of feel like they need to move off him, move into a different direction.
Mm-hmm. I
I
mean,
can't see Eden Hazard staying.
yeah, I mean that's a big rumor going around. Real Madrid is calling Zinedine Zidane. It seems like the big conversation is going around there. You and I have always talked about this, though. Until that player's holding up that jersey, it's all just rumor. It's all just speculation. But just like you were saying, I don't necessarily see him staying there either, especially if Mauricio Sarri's there. Same thing goes for Callum Hudson-Odoi. I mean, he's finally getting some minutes. It almost feels like the fan base for Chelsea almost forced that. It's like, come on, why is this kid not on the pitch? Why is he not getting time? He's clearly creative. He's clearly got quality. And finally, he's getting some minutes in the Premier League as a starting right wing. But if there's just not that clicking in the locker room between these guys, it's not gonna work out. So either the players are leaving or the coach is leaving. If not both. What if both happen, man? That could be crazy.
Oh, I think both happening is very plausible. I mean,
Yeah.
I I think Hazard is ready to move on. I think he was ready last year, but he stayed on. But I think it's just I don't know what more he can do right here
Yeah.
with Chelsea. You know,
Yeah, I know it seems like he's almost peaked there as far as the club goes. His talent is through the roof right now. We
yeah,
can talk about what he did this last week to West Ham.
yeah.
I mean, we just watched these highlights, right before we were talking right now, and as I had said, it was very Messi-esque. I mean, just the ball
Yeah,
control, the close control, calm, cool, collected, two steps ahead of everyone, and he burned through like what, 4 or 5 defenders, pop, pop, pop,
yeah.
pop, pop, and
It's,
then
it's
buries
ridiculous.
it.
Yeah,
I mean, and then he goes on to score the next goal too. He gets a brace. Now the second one, although still a difficult technique, not anywhere near his first goal, but that's still crazy. I mean, he takes a volley, he takes the ball down, and he's wide open. So it was terrible defending by West Ham. But just the fact that he's got that touch, he finishes on the half volley, no problem. Cool, calm, collected. Again, like that talent right there, surround that in Real Madrid. Maybe he finally takes a little bit of coaching from Zidane. Who knows? Like, sky's the limit for him. Yeah.
yeah, no doubt. I mean, and that's why I think he's going to move on because Chelsea's a nice club, but they're not one of the superpower clubs. I don't think they're one of the super clubs. Now, granted, they were infused with a lot of money and they've come out of like nowhere, obscurity, really, like a lot like Man City.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, when Real Madrid comes calling,
I know,
That's a
man.
different story.
They just got that pull,
Yeah,
Galacticos,
exactly. There's that. Yeah, exactly. That prestige.
and that goes a long, long way. I mean, as a footballer, who wouldn't want to play under Zidane? Who wouldn't want to play at the Bernabeu? Who wouldn't want to play with Real Madrid? I mean, it's just it's it's everything you would desire as far as club football when it comes
Yeah.
to world club soccer. So, big thing. Um, okay, so getting into these next fixtures here, Crystal Palace hosts Man City. This is on Sunday. And both these games on Sunday are extremely well planned because we have Crystal Palace taking on Manchester City, followed by Liverpool hosting Chelsea. And so these two games right here, again, are going to decide who's going to be at the top of the table. However, Manchester City will still have that game in hand, but coming up very shortly after that, it's all going to even out. And that game is Manchester United, Manchester City. That's going to do that. So, I mean, what are your thoughts here? Crystal Palace hosting Manchester City. Do you think Palace has any chance whatsoever, or do you think that Manchester City comes in, mops up?
No, Crystal Palace doesn't have any chance, and yeah, Man City absolutely mops up. Um, it's crazy to think that in a season where Liverpool, at this point in their campaign, not trying to jinx anything, has only lost one match, and that is to Man City, and they are neck and neck in a title race. Like it's crazy. Like I mean, most people, if they told you, oh hey, Liverpool went a season with only losing one match, and they didn't win the title, it would be like,
Yeah, it's mind blowing.
yeah,
Mind
it is.
blowing.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, Manchester City, 26 wins, two draws, four losses. Okay, they have four losses.
Yeah, see that there's the thing. I mean, it probably as you look at the records, Man City's won more games or been able to turn more points than Liverpool. Liverpool's just drawn a lot.
They've won one more game. So
Yeah.
25 wins, seven draws, one loss. Now, again, they have one more game. So,
They're just
it,
neck and
I mean, it's everything you want as far as a title race when it comes to the Premier League. Okay. At least
oh
this
yeah.
is a race, and this is everything that, as far as football fans go, all eyes are on Premier League.
Oh
Period.
yeah. No, this is all you
Period.
need to advocate why the Premier League is the best league in the world. I mean, you
Correct.
have six really good clubs vying for four spots in Champions League, and two are fighting for the title. Like, there's no other league in the world that does that.
Not
There's
even
in
close.
that fight, not even close. They might be playing, they might be, this La Liga. There's a shout for it. Really good Spanish clubs. They
Yeah.
are, but I mean, it's always Barcelona, Real Madrid, always. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe you get the rare Atletico Madrid or some other club in the past. They used to be Valencia or Villarreal, those kind of shouts. But now it's just like it's always Barcelona, Real.
Mm-hmm. And you and I have discussed many times, League 1, forget it. PSG is not even funny.
How do
Um,
you even bring up that league? Like,
I'm just like because they're theoretically one of the super clubs. Okay, so
no,
I
it's
mean they have
they
the
don't.
money,
It's the money. Yeah.
they have the money, they have the talent. Now they got ousted by Manchester United, and that happened a few weeks ago, and that was a crazy, crazy game, and we talked about that before. But
Like, let me interject here, and I'm gonna do a little cross section, like MLS style, like
hmm
that. Like what PSG is doing in Ligue 1 is like if you brought, let's say, Club America or like one of the really good teams in Liga MX, and you put it in the MLS.
yeah,
That's how I imagine that.
they
Like
would just
under
be
that
wiping
structure.
everyone out.
Yeah, like Monterrey or Tigres right now. They come in and you put them in the MLS with their roster that they have, and everybody in the MLS has their rosters.
hmm
I mean, they're running away with it.
Yeah, agreed,
That's
agreed.
how it is with PSG and Ligue 1. It's like that league would only be somewhat decent if PSG didn't exist. PSG's a big fish in this aquarium of like tiny little guppies, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
like it's pathetic. Like it's no like I feel bad. I mean, the thing I feel for PSG is that I don't see if they'll ever take that next step because they're not playing competition
Mm-hmm.
anywhere near their level. So they only play like against people that are at their level in Champions League.
Mm-hmm. Well, and if anyone's a football fan out there, you already know this. That being said, it's being proven over and over again in the Champions League. Manchester United coming back was just like, I mean, like, what do you do about that? Whether or not it's a handball or not, blah, 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 blah. It looked like a handball to a lot of people. It was called, is what it is. The point is, if you're PSG, you're pissed. But it's almost like, what are you going to do? You don't train against the top level clubs, as you were saying, consistently, I should say. So it's just not going to happen. Bundesliga, we have Bayern Munich and Dortmund fighting for that top spot. Dortmund is just like tanking. We're not getting into a whole lot of Bundesliga, but I guess what our point is that the Premier League is clearly the Premier League. It's number one. It
It,
is the top.
it really is.
So.
La Liga is the only other league that compares at all, and I don't really think they do when you really break it down. Um, and then it's like I would say Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, and then Liga 1 if you really wanted to compare all those leagues. But
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to be right there with you. I don't disagree with any of that. Okay, so as far as this weekend goes, um, you know, let's talk about the two. I'm sorry, let's talk about the big game, finishing it off. Liverpool hosting Chelsea. Where is this going? How's it going to end up, man?
I'm having flashbacks from a few years ago and the whole slip. I know it's a bad word, but
Mm-hmm.
not a word to say around Liverpool. But I mean, Liverpool's got to be ready, and I think Klopp's going to have them ready. I mean, Chelsea's. This is not going to be an easy match.
Look, Hazard is in form,
Yes.
disgusting form. If he gets any space, which he will, because he creates it so nasty the way he creates that, he's going to get on the ball, and it's going to be a matter of, I mean, what a matchup though. Van Dijk, Hazard down the middle, out on the wing, Alexander Arnold. I mean, what a game.
I just go back to this feeling of like, man, you feel like Liverpool's got to win every match just to
Hmm.
have a hope win the title. And it's like every week you're on this like razor's edge. And I
Hmm.
mean, this week it's like, ugh,
Well,
this
I
is
mean,
not done.
this is like the game that feels like it's going to decide kind of the destiny of Liverpool, just the same way that the Manchester Derby is going to feel like it's going to decide Manchester City's destiny in this particular year. I mean, if there's any advantage, I suppose if that Liverpool gets the win this weekend, they definitely are going to feel a little bit more positive because they know City still has to face Tottenham and they still have to face Manchester United. So, I mean, that would be a positive thing if you're a Liverpool fan. If you're a City fan, then you're looking to make sure that you clean up these games that you should be winning. And you're looking, I mean, Pep has to be really thinking about his lineup and his squad that he puts on the pitch right now between Champions League and between the Premier League. But let's not forget that Manchester City has been no deeper than the semifinal in the Champions League. If you're a Manchester City supporter, you've got to be thirsty for that Champions League win. You've won the Premier League. You're at the top there. Yes, of course, you want to go for a treble. Of course, that would be, I mean, absolutely amazing. But 2015-16 is the last time that Manchester City got anywhere past the quarterfinal. And they just lost a game to Tottenham in the Champions League. I mean, if you're a Liverpool fan, you're hoping that 100% Manchester City is putting their lineups, their marquee lineups in the Champions League, and they're trying to get those wins. Um, I mean, that being said, their roster is so deep, so deep. It's so nasty. So, um, I don't know, man. Like looking into this right now, if you had to call the game, Liverpool is hosting Chelsea. What's your scoreline, man? On
Oh,
the spot. You are on the spot, my dude.
oh man. I don't know. It feels like it's gonna be like maybe a 1-1 draw.
Mm.
Feeling draw. I mean, obviously we hope, we wish for a win. Um, Draw is what I'm feeling. Obviously we it'd be kind of disastrous to lose. But yeah, I'll go with the 1-1 draw. I think that's kind of what.
Oh man. I mean, it would be such a shot to the gut for Liverpool fans if it ends up with anything other than a win, quite frankly. Even if
Yeah,
they draw, I mean, even if they draw, it's going to be gut wrenching when
yeah. Oh, there's no
City
doubt.
starts piling on those wins against these clubs that they should be and will be beating. I mean, I'm going to just say that all these clubs in City's way that are anything other than Tottenham and Manchester United, I mean,
Yeah,
you almost have no chance. So definitely going to be big. Before we round up the Premier League and get into some Champions League stuff, I just want to talk about a couple of these highlight goals that went down this last weekend. I mean, we just talked about Eden Hazard against West Ham, embarrassing West Ham, just dribbling right down the middle against them, slotting it away. Beautiful technique, awesome stuff. Um, Another big goal that, of course, we have to mention is that nasty run from Mohamed Salah. Well, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, man?
well, I mean, you could tell. I mean, complete with him taking his jersey off, that meant something to him. Like there was definitely something behind that. Him, and because I mean, people have been on his case. Like he's not producing like last season, and
Which is hilarious.
yeah, because I mean,
I mean, yeah, we're talking about this right now as far as that goes. Mohamed Salah has 18 goals right now in the Premier League, trailing Aguero by 1 goal. I mean, what do you want from the guy? You know, like if he gets, I don't remember who said this, but on one of the NBC broadcasts, one of the guys said that if Salah scores 20 goals this season, people are going to give him a hard time. Where if that was anyone else in the entire league, people would be like, "Oh crap,
wow,
20
what a year!
goals, what a year." I mean, what a high standard, but at the same time, it's like definitely unfair to the guy.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, no doubt.
Let me just say this. Watching that game, he's dribbling down the middle of the park. He's got great control. He sees Bobby Firmino over to his left, wide open. The layoff is right there. Instead, he takes that extra touch, chips it between two defenders into the far side netting. Okay, amazing goal. I mean, highlight goal. He should have passed the ball. He should have laid it off.
No
That
doubt.
being that being said, if he would have missed that, could you imagine what have happened?
Yeah.
Oh,
No, and those are the moments in sports that we live for, is that when everything's like on a razor's edge. Like he was gambling. He was playing Russian roulette, and I mean he beat it. And yeah, exactly. Because everything tells you the smart play is to lay it off to, like, not even to attempt something like that. But I mean, that's a swagger right there. That's what that is.
That goal for Mohamed Salah felt like the the pressure is finally released after so many weeks right now
Yeah.
of him trying to almost like force it, right?
Yeah.
It felt like he wasn't passing the ball. Mane was open, Firmino's open. He's taking these shots. They're scuffed. They're off. They're flying off all over the place. Like it's just not happening for him. He's taking extra dribbles and extra touches to try to score. But finally, this goal comes through. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
Hey, in his defense, Mane wasn't passing the ball either. No.
that's.
I
That's
mean,
true.
it's it's one of those things where it's like when you're out on the pitch and you pull off a brilliant move, everyone's like, "Whoa, that
Hmm.
was dirt. That was brilliant." When the idea is there but the execution is lacking, maybe some people know it. You try to move and you don't pull it off. It's like, "Oh, why did you do that, idiot?" And that's just how it is in sports. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. If it's anybody else other than Salah making that run, like I think if Mane's making that run, I don't know if he lays it off either. Salah doesn't lay it off, but yeah, a different player on Liverpool, yeah, they lay it off to Firmino,
Yeah.
no doubt. So it's like, uh, it, it's definitely not the smart play to
Right.
take that shot, but Salah is the type of player that you want on your team, taking shots that other guys are, quite frankly, they're too scared to take.
No, he's. I mean, he's got that striker mentality where
Yeah,
he's hungry for the
right.
goal. He also clearly has the quality to be able to do this too. So, Mohamed Salah having another excellent season for Liverpool, no matter what anyone says out there, all those haters, seriously, like whether or not this, I mean, look, this goal, everyone's saying that it shut haters up. Everyone's like, oh, Mohamed Salah has finally quieted all the critics and all this stuff. I mean, the critics should have never been there in the first place, man. He's got close to 20 goals. He's probably going to score more than 20 goals by the end of this year.
Hey, hey,
So,
hey, we know there will always be haters. So,
absolutely.
uh,
Well, very cool. So as far as the Premier League goes, you got anything else you want to round out in the Premier League before we move on?
no, not only that it's getting down to squeaky bum time. Uh,
Absolutely. And so let's quickly just one last review of this, and then we'll move on to Champions League. Big games that are coming up this weekend. Saturday, Manchester United hosting West Ham, Tottenham Hotspur hosting Huddersfield. We have Crystal Palace hosting Manchester City, Liverpool hosting Chelsea, and Watford is hosting Arsenal on Monday, April 15th. And that's going to round out the 34th match day.
Yo,
Uh,
what's Fulham doing?
Fulham, you relegated. No more cottage for you, bro. No more cottage for you.
It hurts, man.
Uh, you know what though? You called that like week one though, so you can't hate.
Yeah,
You called Fulham getting relegated. You called Fulham getting relegated, and I think you called Huddersfield getting relegated.
I had to keep it real, bro. I keep it
Yeah,
100.
yeah, I feel you. Okay, well, cool. Let's move on. Let's go to the Champions League. Um, I mean, everything that's going on in the Champions League right now is of the highest level. Let's talk a little bit about this first leg of the quarterfinals. We have Tottenham beating Manchester City in the first leg. Heung-min Son coming up big again, and Harry Kane leaving with an injury. Do you think that Manchester City is going to be able to come back and take over and take it into the semifinal, or do you think Tottenham's going to crumble? Do you think Tottenham's going to come to play?
I absolutely think Man City's going to come back and stomp on Tottenham. Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be at the Etihad too.
Yeah,
So
it,
what's your?
it's
I
just
mean,
that much on
yeah.
aggregate. Like, yeah,
What's your score line? What's your score line?
uh, I don't know, man. I could see. I'll say Man City 2-0.
2-0. I was going to say 3-1. 3-1 City.
Yeah, I saw a 3-1 scoreline too. I almost saw 3-0 as well. Yeah, I mean the the new stadium for Tottenham's a real boost.
Hmm.
Um, going to be in a lot of matches, if not win them, in that stadium right now because there's just a huge enthusiasm around there right now. Um, but I mean, Man City's going back home. Man City knows. I mean, Pep's gonna have them ready, man.
Yeah, it's going to be
No,
dirty.
he can't be getting knocked out of Champions League to Tottenham.
No, it ain't
Come
gonna
on.
happen. Well, and especially because
All right.
this weekend against Crystal Palace, I have a feeling we're gonna see like the B- squad from City. But that B- squad is gonna still be like Crystal
Yeah,
Palace's A+ squad. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Phil
That's
Foden coming on playing that deep role.
oh God.
Anyway, okay.
Oh, oh,
Okay, so next game we'll talk about Liverpool coming away with the win against Porto. Um, another great performance for Liverpool in the Champions League, I think. Porto had a couple of chances here and there. Um, I don't know, man. Like, it seems like it's a lock for Liverpool moving into the semifinal. You feel that way? You think it's a lock?
I I do. I I I mean, we got a very favorable draw. There's no doubt about it. I mean, God bless Porto, but I mean, Roma probably should have won the last tie. I mean, that's just kind of my feeling. I kind of feel like Roma wasn't, checking their rear view
I
soon
guess.
enough, and Porto just came up and clipped them. But yeah, I, I quite frankly, I think if Liverpool was to lose to Porto, it'd be embarrassing.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna say that.
No,
So
I'm totally with you. Liverpool definitely have the quality and the class to be able to beat Porto significantly, whether or not it's home or away. Um, so they've already played at Anfield. They're going to be going to Portugal. They're going to be playing against Porto, and it should be in both of our opinion, it should still be a relatively dominant performance by Liverpool. So we can probably expect to see Liverpool going on to the semifinal. On the other side, let's take a look at Ajax versus Juventus. This just happened today, man.
tell me
Look,
about it. Tell me about the goal. I know you want to talk about.
hold on, hold on. I do want to talk about it, but before I talk about that one, I'm gonna talk about the second best goal in this game, which was from Neres, and it was an absolutely beautiful, sparkling, wonderful, delicious finish. Okay, cutting back in the right foot, shaping the shot, far netting. Oh my goodness, beautiful. Unfortunately, we're playing against Cristiano Ronaldo, and Ronaldo is on this crazy level where only him and Lionel Messi stand.
Yeah,
And okay, look, Cancelo's ball was absolutely beautiful. But
it
when you
was.
look at this play, if you go back and you look at this play, it's all about the run from Ronaldo and
Yeah,
then the ridiculous finish. Dude, diving header. It's like a scene out of a movie, okay? Like
he
that
makes
goal. I'm sorry, say it again.
he makes it look easy, and it's
Dude,
not.
it's not only not easy, he makes it look easy. It's incredible how easy it makes it look. So, look, if you want to see a dope diving header, check it out. Ronaldo will service you, so to speak. Okay. Um, Ajax traveling. I mean, how do you think this is going to turn out for Ajax going and visiting Italy?
I think the Cinderella run is over. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest. You're getting down to the nitty gritty in Champions League. This is the business, and this is where we separate the men amongst the boys. I mean, That's just where it's at. And Juve's got too much talent all over the field.
Dude,
So
they're
it's
another
like,
team that's way deep, man. You're bringing
yeah,
on Douglas Costa off the bench, and this dude's taking out three dudes in about 30 seconds, dude.
granted, Juve's got a lot of PSG-ness going on with Serie A. Like, I mean,
True.
Juve's dominating that league forever. So
I
it
think
would.
that, but I think that we are literally seeing and witnessing the Ronaldo effect. Look, we saw. We saw what happened to Real Madrid this last season when Ronaldo left. We saw the void, the huge void. No one's gonna make, no one's gonna be able to fill the shoes of 50 goals in a season.
No,
No one except for Messi, right? He's the only other dude on the face of the planet that can even come close and can give competition. Not even come close. I mean, these two. I don't know if you've been seeing this. I've been seeing on Instagram and all these things. There was this really cool like statistics kind of thing over the last like 10 years of Messi versus Ronaldo and their wins and their losses and their goals and everything like this. It's really cool. I'm going to try to look it up and show you, but I mean, these two guys are just far and above everyone else in the world. Like it's not even a contest. So getting into the other fixture here in the Champions League that just happened today also. Barcelona visits Old Trafford. They come away with a win 1-0. Luis Suarez scores a goal set up by Messi's beautiful cross. Busquets dinks it in over the top to Messi, who makes a perfect run, perfect touch, sees Suarez early. Suarez is onside, back post, header. I mean, beautiful play from Barcelona. Um, yeah, I mean, what do you want, And now you have to go to Camp Nou.
yeah, yeah. It was real, Man U, but
I think that
I
run is
mean,
over too.
Barca's got the critical away goal.
Hmm.
Dude, going to the Camp Nou, man, the new camp, however you want to pronounce it. I mean, they're going to be in full voice. That's that's one of the highest capacity stadiums in the world.
Listen, okay.
You know?
Smalling lays into Messi. We see blood. We see bruising. We see this part of the game that a lot of people don't understand. If you don't play, you don't realize how chippy it can get on the pitch, especially when you have the defenders who basically everyone in the world has been talking shit about how Messi's going to basically blow up Manchester United. Okay, this is what's been talking about, and for good reason. Look, it's Lionel Messi. Okay, but as defenders on Manchester United, I guarantee you these guys took it personally and they were doing everything they can to step up and not let Messi have his way at Old Trafford. Now, look, Barcelona gets the win, but this challenge and drawing blood is showing you how serious the United defense was taking this. Now, I just want to say that I think that Messi is going to he's going to whip Manchester United like a poor
Don't say it.
okay. I won't say it. But look, it's gonna be so sad. Dude, they pissed him off, dude. And he's so ice cold, dude. He gets, blood is drawn, nose is cut, eye is black and blue. And he stood up, didn't say anything, didn't react. Look, a lot of people are talking about he might have been a little bit shook up. That I heard that during the broadcast, oh, maybe he was a little shaken. Dude, I don't think he's shaken. I don't think he's shaken at all. I think that they're gonna go back to Camp Nou and he's gonna be like, all right, you're in my house now. Like, welcome. So
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, you've got to think like, man, you did a good job to keep it just at 1-0. So,
agreed.
but yeah, I don't know if that gives them any hope of overturning this tie. Yeah, uh, everybody expects Barcelona to win.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's setting up some exciting semifinal. If everything goes as you and I are talking about, we're talking about Manchester City and Juve. We're talking about Liverpool and Barcelona. We're talking about the possibility of a Cristiano Ronaldo versus Messi Champions League final.
I know you want it, man. I know you want it. I know as much as you want Liverpool to win the Champions League, I know that's what you want. That's your dream match. Which, okay, here we go. Conspiracy theory is UEFA gonna keep those two away from each other.
I
Like
mean,
Juve and Barca don't get drawn together in the semis, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, we have this possibility of these two meeting in the final." Oh my gosh.
I mean, it would be mind blowing, bro. We would have to dedicate an entire episode just to that, for sure. Like, we would have to break down the history of the Champions League of Ronaldo and Messi and go deep. But that's all in the future. Look, yes, I absolutely want Liverpool to go deep. I, as a fan, I want them to win everything, of course. If I'm thinking objectively,
You're taking your Liverpool shirt off, which you're
if
wearing right now.
I know this is my Mane 2018-19. But listen, if I'm thinking objectively, if I have to think of just a football fan, there is no other game in the world that you want to be witness to
Yeah.
than Ronaldo versus Messi, Champions League final. It would be a once in the lifetime game. It will probably never happen again. Okay, probably.
Yeah,
The
no,
probability of that happening is almost nil, right?
it's crazy it hasn't happened before.
It is crazy, when you think about it, but that kind of shows you the odds of something like that happening. I mean, two players destined to meet at some point at the head, at the top of the conversation about the best of all time.
Yeah.
Dude, if these
Like
guys meet in the Champions League final, it's going to be the biggest game that I think club football will ever see. I mean, well, I can't say will ever. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? But at least till now, man, like that's it. That's it.
it's like a white buffalo.
It is. It is. So exciting stuff there for sure. Champions League coming around. The next games are going to be going on the 16th. Is going to be leg 2 of 2. We're going to have Juve hosting Ajax. What's that?
That's next week.
Yeah, I know. So 16th we have Juve Ajax, and then we also have Barcelona hosting Manchester United. And then that flips right over where we have Manchester City hosting Tottenham, and then Porto hosting Liverpool to finish it out. That's on the 17th, next Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So big time stuff. Super exciting.
Pretty here. All right, time for everybody's favorite segment. I know why you've stuck around this long, because you want some hot MLS action.
Everyone knew it was coming. It's cool. Just let it happen.
Ready to get
Lady,
stuck.
just let it happen.
See that? You see that? You see me? Check it.
Sneaky. Threw it in there. All right. Well, look, I think there's only, quite frankly, I think there's like a few big headlines here in the MLS. Okay. The MLS is a few games into the season. I'm sorry, say that again.
Bella's torching everybody.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. That's going to definitely be one of the major topics. Okay, but if we're looking at the standings, let's go ahead and look at that first. We are just a few games in. 6 weeks have gone by. A lot of teams have played 6. A lot of teams have played 5. Even some teams have played 4 due to various reasons. But at least at this point in time, I'm sorry, say it again.
MLS is quirky with their scheduling.
It gets a little weird, but let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of these standings in the Eastern Conference right now. Columbus Crew stepping up. They have 13 points currently. They've played 6 games, 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. I don't know. I don't know if you remember this, and I don't know if I'm even remembering it correctly myself, but I'm pretty sure that I kind of called at the beginning of the year that everyone's going to be watching the Columbus Crew. They're like Giassi Zardes is coming into his own there, but they also have a very good team style of play, and I think they're way more dangerous than a lot of people think. I think they're one of those flying under the radar kind of scary teams that you don't necessarily want to play.
Yeah,
Um,
every time I see Columbus Crew, I see Zach Stefanik there, and I'm like, aren't you supposed to be with Man City?
I think
I
that's
know,
happening in the summer.
I know, but I guess in my mind, I'm already like, that guy's already been transferred. Like, why is he still here?
Yeah. Well,
But
he's got to
anyway,
do what he got to do.
yeah, no, he's got to play. Um, I don't know, man. I should feel some kind of way about Columbus Crew, and I just don't, and I don't know why that is. Like, they're obviously a pretty decent team, but they're not the team I'm thinking about right now. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
No, well, I mean, I understand that. I don't think that they're going to be the marquee club. I'm
and
just saying that people need to keep an eye.
and I think sadly, I mean, a lot of people in Columbus are not thinking the same thing because you look at the stands, they still empty.
I
People,
know.
come on, and see us, get out and support your team.
I
Like,
know
I
you
know,
save it,
like,
you save the crew, and then all of a sudden you're not there. Come on.
yeah, I mean, well, that's probably the hardcore people in the Nordique or something, but they're over there. Is it the Nord? Did I pronounce that right? I said Nordique, and I don't think it's Nordique, but it's. I forgot their supporter section, the one in the corner. Forgive me. Um, those are probably those people that save the crew. The people that are not in the seats are probably people that could care less, don't even know who the crew are. Maybe they're just Ohio State fans.
Yeah.
So, but hopefully they'll sell out the stadium when they do move to a new downtown stadium. And I've got my whole rant about stadiums and everything that's going on with MLS right now. But I'm sure we're not going to get into that right now.
Yeah, we'll probably save it for another time. But going on to the next club in the Eastern Conference, DC United, Wayne Rooney. What a free kick. And what a red card. I mean, like, look, his free kick was disgusting. Okay, so taking it off the left side, curling it in, it was totally gross. Okay, uh,
The free kick is against Orlando, right?
that was correct. It's the free kicks against Orlando,
LAFC. Okay. All right.
and the red card he gets against LAFC because LAFC torches DC United, which we'll get into in a minute.
When I saw the tackle like in fast motion like the first time, I thought Rossi like totally like sold it, and it was like he was flopping. Like, I mean, because he barely touched this guy, and he acts like you shot him. But then when you see the actual tackle, yeah, like he could have broke his leg.
Yeah, it's disgusting, man. He's like a good 8 inches way up on that
On that shit.
angle. Yeah. And it's coming down from the side, stud straight in.
Yeah.
That's gross, man. So, it's kind of like bittersweet there where Rooney clearly was frustrated.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's a frustration.
and look, to a point, you can't blame the guy, but to a point, you got to be like, come on. Like, let's not end careers here. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like I don't know if you were following MLS back in the day, but Steve Zakuani had his career basically, ended with the Seattle Sounders years ago. Back when I think you were in Colorado when this happened. I think the guy's name was Drew Moore, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
He had this horror tackle on Steve Zakuani, and he broke his leg. And it was after losing the ball, like losing possession, like that. Well, no, actually, I know. I apologize. He was frustrated from a foul call that wasn't given against him, and so then he went after the first guy that had the ball in frustration, and yeah, that's what
I
happened.
mean, poor sportsmanship, man. Come on,
Uh,
people.
it's, I mean, you see red and stuff. Hey, I know all about it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guilty as charged. Look, everyone
Guilty.
knows that.
So yeah, I mean, when I see stuff like what Rooney did, I'm like, yeah. I mean, but to his credit, he was humble about it. He knew it. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
I think he's probably thinking in his head like, oh, a yellow, okay, all right, yeah. So I
I'm
came back.
getting away with that.
Okay.
Right, right. Well, let's touch on maybe a couple other teams here in the Eastern Conference. I just want to say FC Cincinnati. Hey, what's up, man? Like having a couple good games. Look, you're not at the
Yeah,
top of the tables, but look, you're having a couple great games, and look, the supporters are showing up. The supporters are really trying to push this and make it big in Cincinnati. Just like anything else in the MLS, though, we'll see if it sticks. I really hope it does. But so far, I mean, Cincinnati's having a great start to the MLS legacy that they're trying to build.
yo, where did they get those orange shorts and socks? I was trying to figure this out. I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Wasn't their kit all blue
Right.
and their away kit is all white? Where did the orange come from? I mean, I'm digging it. I like the look, but
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's kind of odd.
You just throwing them shorts in there. Hey, what's up?
Socks and shorts come out. Like, is Houston Dynamo like, yo, well, you stole our shorts and socks?
Well, I don't know, but either way, FC Cincinnati coming in with a good start to their MLS career, so to speak. Look, last team to talk about in the Eastern Conference. What's up, champs? Atlanta, where you at? Like, it's not going too well.
Well,
You are 0-2-2. You have no wins. You have 2 points.
yo, man, I'm gonna say it now. Frank DeVore's not gonna last the season.
Oh, calling it out. Okay.
Calling out right now. It's not exactly a Jose Mourinho situation there, but again, maybe it is. I don't know.
I mean, who knows, man? Look.
It's not gonna work out, man. This.
Yeah. Well, look, you've already talked about this though, but like in other circumstances, but you don't want to be the man that replaces the man. You want to be the man that replaces the man that replaced the man, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, it's not like look, Atlanta won last year, and then the boss leaves, and now you have Frank De Boer, who's look a big name, man. Like
Yeah.
that's huge, but something's not jiving there. Clearly, they lose Almiron. Pity Martinez comes in, not performing. I mean, where is everyone on the team?
You don't get the keys to the Lambo and it's like driving like a Pinto. Like what's
Yeah.
going on here? Like, dude, you have like Atlanta is stupid with their squad.
Hmm.
Like it's just the way they were clicking and flowing last season and everything, and then you come in and like that just all went away. I mean,
Yeah.
granted, Miggy left, and we've learned that Miggy was definitely stirring that drink.
Yeah.
So
Oh no,
there,
for sure. Not only was
uh,
he stirring that drink, but he goes over to the Premier League, and look, he's getting acclimated. But I think in the next 2 years, Miguel Almiron is going to be someone that in the Premier League people are going to be paying attention a lot to.
ooh, predictions, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, that's my call there. As long as there's no injury, I think Miguel Almiron's really going to come into his own in the Premier League. I think he's a great player. So, okay,
Oh,
I'll say that again.
you have to put on some weight. He's a boy.
No, that's true. I mean, if he doesn't do that, then we're
Have
in
you
trouble. But
have you seen like people have been ranting on Twitter like Almiron's jerseys look like they're like two size too big for him?
okay, wait. I think it's you that sent me the thing on Instagram with the Marco Royce pulling his shirt down.
Yeah,
Did
yeah,
you
yeah,
send me
yeah.
that? Where it's
Yeah.
like, when you are large and you ask for a medium kit, and he's like 100% always pulling his kit down. It's like the opposite effect for Miguel Almiron, except for he's already wearing like an extra small. So,
Yeah, he showed up and he's like, "Yeah, this is what I wear," and they're like, "We don't have that size. It's
yeah.
men that play here. This is not a boys team."
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, we'll see how that develops, but he's got the talent, he's got the speed.
Like,
Now he's in a new echelon of competition, the echelon, so to speak, of competition. You know, he went. I mean, the jump from the MLS to the Premier League, like I don't even know how to quantify that, but it's like a lot. Okay. I mean, it's so much that you can't really even say. It's just like it's a big jump.
uh,
But anyway, okay.
I try to quantify it, put a number to it, other than
Yeah,
a lot.
seriously, it's a lot. Okay, so getting into the Western Conference, though, look, we gotta talk about the premier team in the MLS right now. It's LAFC, man. Carlos Vela is taking people to the left-footed school of football.
Dude, Carlos Candle is really handling things, man.
It's
That was
it's
a little
disgusting.
Spanish English joke right there. That people they call him Candle because Bella is candle in Spanish. Um, I mean, it pains me, but because you and I were both G supporters, but we are able to look at it objectively. Is that you know LAFC right now clearly is the best team in the league at the moment. Granted, it's early.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, man, they're clicking and dude, Bella's you know murking fools with that left
Yeah,
foot.
dude, it's just a completely different level. Um, LAFC is just they're absolutely dominating everyone they're playing. Carlos Vela is out of this world right now. And here's the thing. As you had said, it's early. Dude, people don't realize how grueling the MLS season really is. And so we're early right now. Carlos Vela and LAFC taking it to everyone. You know, when we're 15, 20 games in, you know, what's going to be happening is it's going to be so up and down. That's the thing with the MLS, man. You can't call it as far as a clear favorite, which in a way is great because it makes it interesting, and in a way you're kind of like, where's the quality of the league, right?
Yeah, all I can keep thinking in my head is El Trafico.
Oh, dude. I
It's all
mean, look,
that match can't come soon enough, man.
it's I can't even. It's gonna be so good. I think it's gonna be, you know, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, meeting between two teams in the MLS that has been. And I can't really even think of another game off the top of my head that's gonna stir as much attention up as El Tráfico when LAFC and Carlos Vela play
well,
against the Galaxy.
well, when Portland and Seattle, were obviously, the first
That's
time they were in
true.
MLS, those rivalries. Now we've seen it, a, you know, a few times now, so it's still very huge to anybody in Cascadia. Does it resonate on a national level? Yeah, to a certain degree. Uh, El Tráfico is different because it's obviously Los Angeles, second biggest media market. But still, I kind of feel like El Tráfico it's on a different level than the rivalry in New York between NYCFC and New York Red Bulls. I mean, I
No,
could be
completely.
but
No.
there's like there's just
Look,
an
okay.
animosity tension there that hard to explain.
Well, not only is there an animosity, but regarding the New York Red Bulls versus NYCFC, um, there hasn't really been a rivalry, so to speak. It hasn't been a competitive.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like the Red Bulls so far have just owned NYCFC. It's just there's some games. What was it like 7-0 a
that's
couple of
nil.
years ago? I mean, come on, man. So look, that like to a point it's like the Red Bulls just own New York. You know, it would be like as if LAFC came into the league and then just like didn't really do a whole lot, right? But that's not the case. LAFC has shown up. And the reason that I feel it's going to be one of the biggest matches in the MLS as far as rivalries go is mainly because of the marquee players. It's because Zlatan Ibrahimovic is he's showing up. I mean, the dude's a beast. The Lion of Los Angeles, man. That goal he had this last weekend off the chest, volleying it in, disgusting. Okay. Versus Carlos Vela, the leading scorer in the league, dropping dimes with his left foot all day into that top corner. I mean, no one wants to see any other match more than this, in my opinion. I mean, even if you're not a Galaxy or a LAFC fan, if you follow the MLS at all, even if you don't, you should watch this match.
Mm.
So exciting, exciting. Speaking of the
When
Galaxy,
is it? Is it July, August?
oh man, let me pull that up real quick again just
Uh,
to make sure that we're all on the same page here.
too far
Um,
away is what it is, but
I'm sorry, say that again.
it says it's too far away is what it is. But
Yeah, that's guaranteed. It is definitely during the summer. I think it was in June, maybe July. Let me check that out one more time. I'll find it here in a second. But in the meantime, while I'm finding this, there's a rumor going around that I think is pretty interesting to talk about. Talking about the Chicago Fire leaving Bridgeport. A lot of reports are saying that they've already bought out the contract down there and they're already, working it out, moving up to Soldier Field. It's all rumor right now. So I feel like you have to take it with a grain of salt. That being said, I think it's actually a pretty great move if they leave Bridgeport and they move up to the city. Um, I
you've done
mean,
it twice. You've done it twice now. You called it Bridgeport.
oh, I'm sorry, Bridgeview. Yeah, I apologize. Call it Bridgeport. Bridgeview.
Did you just throw some accidental shade at Bridgeview?
Well, look, all I'm saying is I've been to a game down there, and it's there's things
Hey,
left to be desired. Okay.
I've never been there, and I'm hearing the same thing. Um, I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest with you. I mean, I know I feel like I've deja vu. I've said this a few times. Um, Something needs to happen with the Chicago Fire. I mean, they're stuck in a rut, and I mean, it's too bad they can't pick up that stadium and put it in an urban area in Chicago, either
Hmm.
not out in Bridgeview, um, because I mean, the rebrand. Okay, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean,
Well,
Chicago,
I didn't even mention that yet.
yeah. I'm sorry, getting ahead of ourselves, but
No, no, no. Go ahead. Talk about it. I mean, look.
I mean, the rebrand aside, I mean that's its own issue, but even if they didn't rebrand it and they just moved the Chicago Fire to Shoulder Field, like I don't know how I feel about like I was talking about this earlier. It's like, wait a minute, MLS teams were in football stadiums, American football stadiums, and they went out to the suburbs to get their own soccer specific stadiums, right?
Hmm.
And now, because of the success of the Seattle Sounders and more importantly Atlanta United,
Hmm.
John Garver and the MLS thinks we don't need soccer specific stadiums. Let's put the teams back in the NFL stadiums. Like Chicago Fire playing at Soldier Field. Like, how cavernous is that going to be? Like, do you think
Yeah.
it's going to turn out? Like, see, they're hoping they can reband Chicago Fire and put them in Shoulder Field, and like they're going to get sellouts like Atlanta United. I don't know. I'm not in Chicago, but
Well,
it
I am,
sounds.
and I'll tell you right now, that's not happening. I mean,
I,
look, they're not going to pack out Soldier Field. I mean, Chicago soccer, man, soccer in the United States is really weird because it's big, but then it's not big.
it's there's pockets because
Right.
you have a lot of people that live here from obviously countries all over the world, and they love their heroes from their native land. They
Hmm.
love their clubs from their native land. So
Hmm.
when their clubs come here or their national teams come here from wherever they're from, they support them to the death, and they go
Hmm.
out and there's huge crowds, and you're like, oh great, there's all these people that love soccer in America. Great. All right, come to an MLS game. crickets.
Yeah, there's like 7,000 people,
Yeah,
and you're
I mean,
like,
those people are like MLS.
yeah, I
Who's that?
know. I
You
mean,
know?
so like I was saying though, it's like it's big, but it's really not big. And so the Chicago Fire leaving Bridgeview, um, I mean, look, that part is great, honestly. Like leave Bridgeview. Now, Soldier Field is not what you're looking for. You want to be able to have a soccer specific stadium in the city. Okay, fine. Maybe they're already working on that. Maybe they're already processing that, and this is like an in between step. Okay. They're talking about rebranding to the Chicago City FC. That's the rumor. Look, this is all rumor, by the way. Okay. Don't take this for like legit. Uh, does it happen? Does it not happen? Does it even really matter? I don't know. But that's just a thing. Okay. This is just a possibility.
Yeah, I start to get really nervous when, like we have things that we can look on right now. Like the situation with NYCFC, they're in Yankee Stadium. It is awful playing there.
Terrible.
It
Terrible.
is worse than playing in an NFL stadium. Like
Hmm.
excuse me, soccer should never, ever be played in a baseball diamond.
Hmm.
I don't know who thought this was cool. I mean, the Portland Timbers pull it off because they're weird. You know, it's just that place is unique. They've made it their own. But other than that, it should never be played in a baseball diamond. And NYCFC has now been in that stadium like 5 years or something now.
Hmm.
And there's no soccer specific stadium for them on the horizon because
No.
it's New York City. And I'm like, is that going to happen with Chicago? Look at Miami. Miami's going to build their stadium hopefully, but they're going to play their first couple of years in Fort Lauderdale. It's
Yeah.
just like I don't know. I mean, it makes me nervous when you start like, oh yeah, we'll move to Soldier Field. It's like, how long are you going to be there? You got to make sure you get out of that place because that's definitely not the permanent solution.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely agree. Um, to answer you, July 19th, Friday night, July 19th, Los Angeles Galaxy hosting LAFC.
Mm,
El Trafico.
yes, man.
Hmm, exciting. Okay, well, let's go ahead and let's just look at the schedule upcoming this week. Chicago Fire hosting Vancouver, Montreal hosting
Ugh.
Columbus, Houston Dynamo hosting San Jose. Oh, hey, San Jose got a win.
Hey! I was gonna tell you. I was like, you can't throw shade at San Jose this week.
They got a good win, man. I'm not hating this week, but I'm
Hey,
waiting for next week. I'm waiting for next week though. Look, Dynamo are in good form. In good form, man. They in the last 5 games they've won 4 and drawn 1. That's I mean that's huge. San Jose finally gets a win. I don't know, whatever. I don't really even want to talk about them. Okay, look, this is one of the better games is upcoming this weekend. Seattle Sounders are hosting Toronto FC. Both these teams are starting in good form. Neither one has dropped a result yet. Both of them have 4 wins and 1 draw. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say they didn't drop a result. In the last 5 games, they have not dropped a result. In the last 5 games, both of them have 4 wins and 1 draw. So they're coming in good form. It should be an exciting game. Again, that's going to be in Seattle, so that should be pretty fun. Um, Minnesota hosting NYCFC. New England hosting Atlanta.
well,
Go ahead.
well, you can't just gloss over that.
Gloss over what?
Minnesota, man, that's gonna be their first match in their new stadium.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I
So
apologize. Alliance Field. That's
that
right.
be rocking,
Mm-hmm.
bro. You see that video I sent you?
Yes.
Like that was just like the supporter section.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're gonna be bringing the noise.
I have
Like
a feeling that NYCFC is going to have a hard day.
yeah, I mean, it looks like it feels like Minnesota's turning somewhat of a corner, and NYCFC is obviously somewhat in shambles. Um, But yeah, man, that place is gonna be rocking, bro.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna keep an eye on it this weekend. Um, let's see. They, as far as form goes, Minnesota 3 wins, 2 losses in the last 5 games. NYCFC is just like so middle of the road, 4 draws and 1 loss. So it sounds like Minnesota is going to have a day. Definitely going to be exciting in Alliance Field against NYCFC. What do you think is going to be your scoreline for that?
I'll go 2-1 Minnesota.
2-1 Minnesota. Okay, fair enough. I don't think NYCFC is going to score. I think it's going to be 2-0. Let's see. New England Revolution hosting Atlanta. Dallas hosting Portland. Portland, by the way, is starting off with a horrible season so far. Pretty gross down there.
I think. Well, first they've been on the road. I don't think they've played a home game because I think they're still finishing.
Yeah, and they're still on the road. They're going to Texas.
There and I mean, maybe they're just taking a playbook, play out of the playbook of their rivals there in Seattle.
Yeah, well,
start the season and get that run to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible, but I mean, just it's pretty embarrassing that the champion of the league and the runner-up of the league last year are both just starting out so terribly. Atlanta's on the bottom with 2 points. Portland's just getting smacked.
That's MLS, man.
I know.
Already ruled today.
So let's see here. Colorado hosting DC. I mean, Real Salt Lake hosting Orlando City. Nani finally has a goal. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, come on, man. Like, until he starts being consistent and producing.
Am I headbutting you, though?
But the last 2 of this match day, look, Los Angeles at the highlight. Los Angeles Galaxy hosting Philadelphia Union, and LAFC hosting FC Cincinnati. So Philadelphia, Cincinnati definitely walking into hostile territory. Zlatan right now having some pretty good games. Carlos Vela and all of LAFC, as we've been talking, just blowing people out of the water. I mean, I predict a win for both of these teams, Galaxy and LAFC, and I think LAFC is going to, again, show dominance, and FC Cincinnati, I don't see them coming out anywhere near, even really giving them a hard competition.
You would think. Yeah, for sure. You would think. It's going to be a classic black versus white duel.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
Because LAFC is going to be in there all black kit. Cincinnati's going to be in there all white kit.
White, yeah, that's true. That's going to be pretty fun.
Yeah, people are going to be like, wait, that's the Galaxy? No, it's Cincinnati.
Well, very good. Okay, so, kind of rounding up today, all I want to say is there is a lot of great football coming up, as usual. At the top of the Premier League this weekend, you have Liverpool, Chelsea. I mean, what else do you want as far as big games go in the Premier League? As far as the Champions League goes, I mean, everything is there to want. Barcelona, Manchester United, Juve and Ajax. You have Liverpool and Porto. And then, of course, you have Manchester City, Tottenham. Huge games all the way around.
We are spoiled.
I mean, so spoiled. And what's great is it just doesn't end. We're leading into the summertime. We have the Gold Cup coming up. We'll talk about that next episode. I mean, it just doesn't end.
Copa America.
Yep. Women's World Cup. Yep. Alex Morgan scoring her 100th goal, and it was sick, by the way. Rapinoe's volley, by the way. Oh man, talent over there. We should talk about the women a little bit more. Let's talk about them a little bit more next time.
We definitely will have to, no doubt. And say, don't sleep on the women. This World Cup's gonna be fire.
Yeah. All right. Well, very good. Eric D, you got anything else you want to add?
Is Neymar still hurt?
I thought he was training. I thought he was training. He was coming back in.
Speaking of PSG, do you see that clip I sent you of the guy that stopped the goal? He stopped the goal from going.
He hit the post. Was that
Yeah. Oh my god.
Kimpembe? No.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But either way, look, folks, enjoy those games. And
don't hate.